Belletti keeps rolling. You've been on that for 4 days.
Being in the World Cup is awesome. I've never even dreamed of this. I thought of bringing my own camera, just to record a few memories. They all asked me to say nothing.
Ronaldinho went. I want to see if you have the guts. He's encouraging you. He wants you to be at your best when you face him. Do you understand me, guys?
Big Phil made no prohibitions about that. The other players would tease me. Same time, nobody felt uncomfortable about being videoed. I was like, I won't miss my chance to catch these moments. If we win, we will be making history.
Each one from his place. We'd always try to play well in our clubs so that we could always be the best and get to the World Cup. It's really hard to be a footballer.
I'd had a few rough times when I got called up. The World Cup. Man, this is totally different.
That team in the 2002 World Cup was one of the great teams.
From the world's top clubs. Ronaldo from Inter, Rivaldo from Barcelona, Ronaldinho from PSG, Roberto Carlos from Real Madrid.
Cafu and Roberto Carlos, two players that changed the face of how to play as a fullback.
I showed the team the importance of being a world champion. There's nothing better than being a world champion.
The World Cup final is about to kick off.
On the day of the final, we tried to think of other things, keep our minds off of '98.
All great players would have wanted so badly to turn the page after the World Cup of 1998.
I'd always hear Roberto Carlos go, "I don't want to cry anymore."
one of the greatest of all time.
The national team is after its 5th cup, a country proud of its colors.
In France, I was broadcasting the game, and the consensus in the studio was it would be easy for Brazil. But I said, no. You watch a boxer walking to the ring when he knows that he's going to be beaten.
1998 France World Cup, a unique moment in the history of football in Brazil.
And I think there was some of that in the Brazil team that day.
It seemed like the Brazilian national team was destined to lose the match against France.
Brazil heads up to its 5th cup. The ball is rolling.
We were really focused on our part in the game. To be honest, it was an extraordinary game by our team.
Corner kick for France. Zidane leaps and goal! Zidane scores France's first goal. 27 minutes into the first half. France 1, Brazil 0. That was France's first goal. France 1 and Brazil 0.
Some things happened, and we got totally out of focus. Our way from the hotel to the stadium was bad. The national team's bus was full of samba, but that day it was completely quiet.
Many people wanted to know what had really happened to that player.
Ronaldinho won't play.
Edmundo was there and he was gonna take Ronaldo's place, so we were all like, what's going on?
That afternoon of the final against France, Ronaldo felt awful.
Well, Roberto saved my life that day.
Ronaldo was telling stories as usual, but suddenly stopped. I looked at him and went, "Ronaldo, don't fuck around, I'm scared."
Everything happened here. All was despair. Ronaldinho was writhing and drooling. Edmundo even shouted he was dying.
I don't remember what was going on. Leonardo called me, and we went for a short walk. We walked through the hotel's garden, and halfway through he said to me, "Ronaldo, you had a serious seizure. It was scary, and you almost died."
We all went to the stadium to see Brazil becoming the champion. We went to the hotel before the team was off to the stadium. Ronaldo was missing. We didn't see Ronaldo on the bus. He was in the hospital. I think he was in the hospital in Paris.
They ran all kinds of tests on me. So I got to the stadium and told Zagallo, "I'm playing, man. I'll be quick."
Ronaldo is playing now, everyone, and that is that.
We didn't think he was playing. We were in the hospital. He storms out into the dressing room and says, "I want to play."
Here comes Brazil. Cesar Sampaio passes to Dunga and to Ronaldo. Barthez plunges headlong into him. Ronaldo's lying on the ground after an accidental collision. It seems to be a serious injury.
He fell on the ground and I thought he was dead.
The Brazilian player takes the worst of the collision.
I find it easy to forget the outside world and leave it out to the field. But this particular problem was from the inside.
Corner kick for France. Djorkaeff on it. Zidane jumps and heads it in and goal!
An odd day, Zizou had never scored a header. And he scored 2.
Another goal for France!
I didn't know if I wanted to cry or hide even. When they scored their 3rd goal, I couldn't believe it.
Tafarel for the save and goal!
It was a really sad day.
It's the end of the game at the Stade de France in Paris. France is the 1998 World Champion. France wins with a score of 3 and Brazil 0.
We were just so focused on playing this game that we paid no attention to something important, dramatic, even that a fellow player, our Brazilian peer, even what our football friend on the pitch was going through.
In Brazil, coming in second and coming last are the same. When the referee blew the final whistle, that feel, damn, we are the worst.
This is our worst defeat in the history of World Cups.
We're runner-up in an extremely competitive cup. If you get to the final, you have chances of winning. But your opponents have the same chances.
I can still see the French celebrating. That picture got stuck to my head for years and years, and I cried and went, God damn it, I don't understand. Why not me that day?
I'm sorry. I couldn't give you what we all wished for today.
Only after the game did we learn that Ronaldo had felt unwell. He was sick.
Only one man could tell Ronaldo, you're not playing, Ronaldo. Zagallo didn't have the guts to do that. Zagallo didn't have the courage to do that. He could have gone between the risk of getting Ronaldo killed and losing the cup. I'll lose the cup.
Why was he in? Because he was. I'm explaining this to you again and again, but you want me to blow up. I wish you were as polite as your French colleagues.
Football is a social tool. It takes many people out of the streets and fuels dreams. And here in Brazil, you know, it's the most exciting sport. Everybody loves it.
Defeat in Brazil has a huge weight, has a massive power in Brazilian society. Anything that's happening in society will find its way to the football stadium. So a big defeat for Brazil, it's almost unthinkable. So one of the things that happened afterwards was the conspiracy theories.
It was said that many governments had dealed and traded the World Cup, that sponsors had bought the players. When I was called in to declare, one of the first things I got asked was, who was supposed to be on Zidane at the corner? This'll be of great help for the commission, won't it?
Sure it will. If not, I wouldn't ask.
To be honest, I don't remember who was on Zidane in particular. I don't remember. I noticed that couldn't be serious. I said I don't know who was on him at the time, but whoever it was then, he wasn't.
Four years later, at the World Cup in Korea and Japan, expectations were quite opposite. Nobody expected Brazil to win anything. Nobody believed in Brazil anymore.
Though the next cup was in 4 years' time, in 2002, I needed to be good at my club. I was already prepping for 2002. There were 4 years of steady work ahead, so as to be in the next World Cup and make up for our loss in '98.
There's a tradition in Brazil where, in order to be world champions, the team first has to be booed by its own public.
It's a strike on talent, a strike on creativity, and a strike on competition.
I think perhaps they need to suffer a little bit, but I don't think they needed to suffer quite as much as they suffered in qualification.
The qualifiers for the World Cup were really tough.
South American qualifiers are 18 games. I played 15 out of 18, under 4 different coaches.
There was Vanderlei Luxemburgo and left. Another came, I was still in. Then another one out of an interrupted job.
You'll never know if a coach is good. He will never have enough time to show everyone if he has what it takes, especially if he's training the national team.
Until in came Big Phil.
Luis Felipe Scolari debuts at Brazil's team after his work at Cruzeiro. We're committed to qualifying for the World Cup. If we're unable to succeed, then we certainly need to be fired.
With Scolari, things didn't immediately get better.
I remember the first time I talked to him, I thought, what a tough guy he was. Cold, distant.
He was really hard to deal with at the beginning. He was aggressive to the journalists. He even went physical sometimes.
You're a bunch of fucking clowns, and you're the worst clown of all time.
When I came to the national team, it was virtually out of the cup already. I came on for the last 2 games of the qualifiers, and I remember I was in for that game.
This defeat is only one more to be added to the vast collection of failures of the past 2 years.
We lost the game. It was a very hard day.
We are very close to not qualifying. The night eases the shame of yet another failure.
The team really wasn't at its best.
We didn't play well.
Obviously, we didn't have a particularly good plan. We were at risk of not qualifying, which had never happened before to our Brazilian national team. So things at that time were bumpy and not clear.
We flew back to Brazil to play against Venezuela next, under great pressure.
No one could have imagined this game would be so crucial for Brazil. It is truly an important moment for them.
I've never been so down at a game like this before.
Luizão gets it, the keeper goes for the save, but it's a goal! Here comes Luizão again, shoots and goal! Luizão scores for Brazil! Rivaldo's in the penalty area, shoots and goal! Brazil is off to the cup!
I had the joy in the last game of playing and earning Big Phil's trust. And at the age of 26, I scored 2 goals that helped take Brazil to the World Cup.
As from 98, I developed a chronic tendonitis in my right knee, which led to serious injury, which made me suffer so much. In 2000, I broke my patellar tendon completely.
Attention, he's down.
A very, very odd, dangerous move. As I remember, a knee rotation. We noticed it was very serious.
I felt my whole world fall apart. We didn't know what to do. If physical therapy or how to go about my injury.
Staying off the field for 2 years, because of his injury, got him meditating a lot.
As always, the call for the World Cup was indeed an opinion splitter.
There was no ball rolling on the screens, but fans all over the country wouldn't take their eyes off the TV.
On the day of the call for the cup, I didn't want to look at it. No one had phoned me. I said, damn it, and started drinking.
And now, the moment of truth. Vampeta and Luizão.
David is much better than Vampeta.
Even I could play better. Luizão and Vampeta, they're nuts.
Vampeta from Corinthians. Marcos from Palmeiras. Cafu from Roma. Belletti from Sao Paulo. Roberto Carlos from Real Madrid. Lucio from Bayer Leverkusen. Ronaldinho Gaúcho from PSG. Juninho Paulista from Flamengo. Kaká from Sao Paulo. Rivaldo from Barcelona.
Romario didn't get his chance. That was hard for everyone. All of Brazil loved Romario.
Romario's relationship with the team was hard. After winning the World Cup, he felt that he owned the team. He wasn't called up in '98, so he wanted to be there in 2002.
Scolari heard nothing nice. Last Friday, he put up with violent protests. Romario even cried, talking about his wish to defend.
Romario was not going to the World Cup. The general pessimism was great. Rio's media was on fire. They wanted Big Phil's head.
What are Scolari's technical and tactical reasons for leaving Romario out?
I have absolutely no idea.
Apparently, the media likes to talk about the ones who are out more than the ones who are in.
If Brazil doesn't win, we'll blame it on Big Phil for leaving Romario out the national team.
I definitely understand the fans' feelings today, but I make my decisions based on what's best for the team, that's all.
Big Phil's gamble was on Ronaldo's injury rehab. People didn't give him as much credit for that, but he was easier to deal with than Romario, of course.
I got a number of outside diagnoses, all dooming my career.
Nobody forgets those players who never get to be the same again.
I'm sure that what happened to me and what I'm going through is a test. And as all tests in a person's life, I have to go on and get over mine. After 2 years, I got well and got enough time to get ready and got called up to play in 2002.
With Ronaldo, Brazil gained two world-class players, Ronaldo and Rivaldo. Rivaldo and Ronaldo together were fantastic.
Once it was clear those were the 22, from then on it was us. We followed our dream and our passion. We had to visualize our only goal, winning the World Cup.
Every player dreams of going to a World Cup. It's fantastic. I wanted to be a football player. My dad saw my potential, and because of that, he always encouraged me to play football.
As a young kid, I fell in love with the ball. In the hood, we'd make our balls out of old socks, and we didn't stop playing. We really played a lot.
I was lucky to have a dream that came true.
What did he say? Tell them.
You look serious.
Are you recording? One of Big Phil's most important qualities, he's integrating. He's good at dealing with people.
It's mine. Come on, let's go.
What a shame, coach.
Even Big Phil is playing.
He'd work and insist a lot. It was intense. 2-hour training, always searching for improvement. We'd call him Dad, and then we'd mutter, "Man, he's a real pain. He's making us work our asses off."
We'd even call him General Phil. But he was a great dad, always close to all of the players, working a lot on that bond.
That feeling got us the name Scolari Family, because we are family. The most important thing he did was bringing back that hope of being the world champions.
We made a pact, a natural pact, so we'll sacrifice for the greater good, and we are going to bring the World Cup home for sure.
Brazil have been drawn in Group C. Their opponents, Turkey, China and Costa Rica.
The draw was great. Now it's up to them. Very easy.
No problem. That group's a piece of cake, I tell you.
That's the problem with the media. Their pressure comes in a bad way. It makes us feel that we are not worthy or not good at what we do. In my opinion, that's a lot of pressure for a sportsperson to bear.
This is Ronaldo, all shaky back in '98. He almost died. Roberto Carlos saved him. This is Belletti, the camera guy. Playing for the Brazilian national team is demanding. You should be mentally different. Pressure and responsibility sometimes just get out of hand.
Emerson was ready to captain the team. The day before the debut, I can't remember if it was Rivaldo, someone shot. He jumped and fell and broke his shoulder.
Emerson was out, and I took the captain band. Big Phil said to me, "Look, are you up to the responsibility to be the captain of the national team?" I said, "When wasn't I? I was since I had my first child."
2002 World Cup is about to start for Brazil. Brazil versus Turkey.
Turkey had good players. We already knew who we were playing with and how hard the game would have been.
2002 World Cup starts for Brazil. The ball is rolling.
Well, a Turkish player has kicked the ball at Rivaldo here. I think he's going to get the red card. The worst moment for Brazil was the opening game against Turkey.
It's not easy to remember. It's as if life had stopped in many places in Turkey. When the World Cup started, we knew our team had quality, same as the other teams.
Here comes Bastard to Hasan Saz, shoots and goal!
It's hard to explain it with words. I feel even today, we're still celebrating that goal. It was an amazing feeling.
Well, the whistle goes for the end of the first half. A surprise for Brazil. It's Brazil 0, Turkey 1.
At the end of first half, Turkey wins 1-0. Big Phil comes to the dressing room all nervous and I go, "We'll turn this around."
We kicked off losing to Turkey, who'd done great at the qualifiers. So we went, "Calm down. Let's do our thing, guys."
So we get underway for the second half. Brazil with a lot to do.
The problem was, Rivaldo and Ronaldo were on the field.
Rivaldo makes his way up left, shoots, Ronaldo's here and goal!
It was such a strange goal. Rivaldo gets the ball there in the middle, makes a pass that seems too long. With quite an odd move, I go for it. I jump in feet first and get the ball. I felt my confidence in myself again.
With the tip of his right shoe, he sends it to the back of the net.
And the penalty was awarded to Luizão, minutes before the end of the game. Out of the box, clearly out of the box.
Ball goes for Luizão. He gets to the box. He falls over. The referee awards a penalty.
Foul there, clearly outside the area.
Vampeta went up to protest, and then it hit me. Penalty and red card.
Did you know you were out of the box?
That's for sure. I knew it for sure.
Clearly out of the box. Rivaldo is kicking it. He comes, Rivaldo, he shoots, and goal! It's a goal for Brazil!
Brazil have come from behind. They had to suffer along the way. They've 3 points to their name.
I'm excited to be back in the World Cup and score a goal. Believe me, this is only the beginning. I hope more goals and moments like these come my way.
Go, go, go!
I'm so happy. One day after our morning training, the coach gave us the afternoon off to go on a trip to Malaysia. On our way back, my phone rang. It was Bayer Leverkusen who were helping my mother-in-law and my cousin to tell me Zhao was being born. I was really so upset I couldn't be there, but also really happy my son was born a very healthy and beautiful baby. I shared the good news with everybody on the bus. I said, "Hey everybody, my son was born. He's in Germany and he's doing great." They all congratulated me and we celebrated on the bus. It was hard, but I was out on a mission. I always tell him that he brought us good luck. Being our lucky charm, he was also one of the things that inspired me and gave me motivation to work harder on myself, to keep training and playing and working to earn the championship. It would be my gift to him.
It's about to start Brazil's second game against China. Brazil's going for the group lead. They're here and the fans are cheering wildly for them. Here comes Roberto, he shoots, and goal!
I was confident about the game. I think we won 4-0. It was my only goal in a World Cup. All the players complained a lot about the ball. It made a weird effect. I'd train a lot. I knew my legs' potential very well. I'd stay over after training 30, 40 minutes. I'd ask the goalies to stay with me. My goal against China, I'd practice it the day before. I knew the ball's behavior exactly. It was the ideal game for me to make a little history in the national team scoring a goal in a World Cup.
Here comes Rivaldo, gets into the box and goal! Ronaldinho shoots and goal! That's a great play of Cafu's, crosses for Ronaldo, shoots and goal!
I have never seen anything easier than Brazil's group in my whole life.
During my footballer years, I didn't read the news. Why would I? Most journalists have never played football. Believe me, it's not worth it at all.
7 goals. I understand they need to sell their news. And only good news don't sell.
I've never answered a journalist's questions. I've always dealt with peers, winning or losing. In the same way, I gave my answers inside the field.
Third game of the Cup's first stage, Brazil versus Costa Rica. Edelson comes up on the left, crosses for Ronaldo, he shoots, and goal! Goal! Here comes the cross, here's Edelson, and goal! Here's Rivaldo, and goal! The ball's for Junior, he shoots, and goal! 7 goals, Brazil 5 and Costa Rica 2.
Brazil perhaps losing concentration at times. Strange game, lots of goals, lots of thrills. On they go to the knockout stages.
This was enough for the Brazilian fans in Ulsan to get the World Cup mood. With no frights or bumps, we wish you
Good afternoon, Brazil!
many times we stayed in an entire hotel floor only for the players of the national team. We spent so long in our rooms, so long doing nothing, that many of us would just go up and down the halls and chat. In one hotel we had video games, very strange for that time, billiards and bingo. That really was the most extreme sport besides football. This looks good!
Big Phil had some rules, and they were tough rules. No one can have sex during the stay. No one can rest. We will just spend 60 days locked up here, quote unquote.
If Brazil makes it to the final, they'll have to spend 2 months together.
That's the sacrifice we committed to. It was such a long time ago. Now that I think of it, I think it was irresponsible for us to make such a promise.
I don't remember really.
Yeah, I'd make do. It was good to be that young. Well, I'm kidding.
Some journalists sent us some pornographic adult magazines. Big Phil took them all. He took all of them and went to the press. He yelled at them there, "Don't you ever send my boys these again. We're working hard here." And then he came back and gave our sex kits back. So of course, we never used them.
Go! Brave one, Edmilson!
There was a fantastic atmosphere in the team. It made no difference being first team or on the bench. I think a person of her physiognomy.
Physio what?
Physiognomy. I didn't know about this. I think Ronaldo didn't either. I never watched this before. I had no idea.
E a piranha? E eu, pô?
Roberto Carlos, no doubt, because of his personality, was always the funny guy.
I'd concentrate with Ronaldo. I always say he's the brother I never had.
They divided the rooms among all of us and put us 2 by 2. And the 2 of us got to be together in the same room, never separated after that, and we lived together for many years.
I'm giving it all away.
What did he say?
He's been telling quite a lot.
Just the
you
good
liar.
ones. Is speaking well about you lying?
Many years. Very long.
Ages.
Yeah, very long. For almost 20 years, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 20 years.
I remember the first time we slept together. Here the white couple appears. No, seriously though, the first time we slept together, I think it was back in 1993.
Yeah, 93.
My goodness.
Time flies fast.
I didn't even snore then.
It was our favorite joke that I've slept more with Ronaldo than with my wife.
Well,
you know?
Have a good one. That head kiss we always...
Thanks.
You know, we had this head kiss ritual we would always do. It was my superpower. When the game would start, both in the club and the national team.
And it worked?
You think so? Huh?
You
We got in and everybody, all of them, was already shaking.
Hmm.
Shaking, I tell you.
For me, the most complicated game was against Belgium.
The Belgian team had many individual qualities, but mostly collective. We were a block, very difficult, lots of work and experience.
Round of 16 was coming up. There's the emotional side to it too.
You have something to lose. But Brazil have loads to lose because they have to win the cup. And that's the big difference.
A decisive game is coming up. England awaits their rival.
They had good headers, good players with a great command of the ball.
Okay, we heard we were playing Brazil. For us, it was a child's game. No pressure.
First litmus test for Brazil.
Very few gave adequate credit to the Belgium team, but we knew about their potential when we were facing them on the field.
Oh wow! The Belgium team is dangerous!
On that game, I thought we were coming back to Brazil.
A tense game. Brazil played with some difficulty.
In theory, there was no comparing Brazil and Belgium. They were way better than us, but in a game, in the magic of the cup, the small can beat the big. Like the story of David and Goliath, those were us.
Belgium comes up on the right, crosses and heads it in, and goal!
Belgium even scores the first goal, but it's disallowed.
There's an apparently clear foul on the Belgian player's header.
I hear the whistle, and then I look at the line referee. I saw his flag down and he was running, so it must have been a goal. But I don't get it. I still don't.
Nobody does, even today. Even today, why it gets disallowed. Even Big Phil himself, when he comes across Wilmots in Europe, why it was disallowed, I don't know. He'll say.
Rivaldo controls, he shoots, and goal!
The Belgian game, that was a close moment, but it also produced a necessary change in the Brazil side.
Kleberson got in and killed it. He'd been a highlight in the last 3 games.
I think they really had a strong defense. And those 3 strikers, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Ronaldinho.
Kleberson controls on the right. That's a great ball. Ronaldo shoots and goal!
After Rivaldo and Ronaldo's goals, we beat Belgium and we moved on.
And it's over. A great victory for Brazil.
A big quarter final against England.
It was one of the hardest games we had competed in during that World Cup, but it made us say, we're going places. He wanted to know why I went to another team.
Why?
I didn't score, and he went,
Okay.
no wonder, playing alongside some of the greatest players of the world, like Denelson, Roberto Carlos, Janino, and Belletti. Janino said exactly the same thing to me.
Cafu was our master, our leader.
Are you the best player in the cup? No. Are you better than Rivaldo? No. Then Ronaldo? No. But they won't make a better fullback than me. I'll be the best fullback. And to that end, I'll play for my team. I'll be the best at my thing. If we work really hard and focus on being the best at what we do, and we set our eyes on the World Cup, we will surely get there. That's unity. That's what teamwork's about.
In that moment, we leave our egos aside and think more as a complete team.
In 2002, really, competition is very quick, very brief. 7 games a month. It most certainly isn't going to be easy to get in this time. Our duty was to make it even more difficult for our opponents. And to also do our best to help Marcos, our first goalie back then. I knew my part was to do my best.
I knew my part was to do my best. For instance, Cafu played and did his best, as he was the first team fullback. And when training against the first team, to make it as difficult as possible for Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, so they were trained as well as possible and ready for the game. Rivaldo's the best striker in the world. I couldn't afford to be upset because I wasn't playing. I couldn't complicate things, and especially on the path to our nation's 5th World Cup.
Prepping for each game was that hotel mood, bus mood, dressing room mood, having fun.
I'd always be seated in the middle, not in the front with the gang or at the back. It was my pleasure, my honor, to sit next to Cafu. An honor.
No tambourine, nothing. Excuse my language, but I suck. But I suck at playing the instrument. What was I doing playing that thing?
Joy was our ritual, all sharing the vibe, always playing around.
Same 10 or 12 tunes every game.
I'd remember the playlist for ages after that time, and it was our time to ease the pressure and to keep focused.
We saw our opponents come, and they were all serious and focused.
And go, look, Brazil is too relaxed now. I think this is what they call the Brazilian joy.
It's not only us as the Brazilian players. It's cultural. Our people. Whatever the odds are, our people are happy and they support the national team.
It's the Brazilian trademark. We'll never lose it. If we ever do, we wouldn't be Brazilian.
How you doing? I'm fine, thank you.
What's the hardest game? The next one. Belgium was a difficult opponent, but were they the most difficult team? No, the hardest is the next one.
Yes, and then yes. Playing against England. That's a game you go. Well, that's a perfect team.
Brazil versus England's match is coming up now.
The team was unbelievable. That game was an absolute classic.
Probably the best England of all time. Campbell, a spectacular defender, quick man. Michael Owen at the front was a dangerous guy.
This was going to be the biggest game of our lives. We were a great team, we'd just beaten Argentina, we were developing nicely. The teams left in the competition, we'd beat them all. If we beat Brazil, we're going to win the World Cup. An exciting thought, but also quite a daunting thought, thinking, you know, our biggest mountain to climb is straight away.
England was a great team. They had the hairstyle king, David Beckham.
We were known as the golden generation. I think since 1966, obviously we haven't had, success. So I think that, the country, the media, and I think football, the footballing world looked at us and thought, maybe we'll have a chance.
It's Brazil against England on their way to winning the World Cup.
There was a lot of hype around us as individuals and as a team.
Brazil versus England has just kicked off.
Old enemies again. England against Brazil.
It was playoffs. The game started, you lose, you go home.
Quarter-final match. England against Brazil, just as it was in 1962.
Up comes England. The ball's in the box. Lucio misses it. Here's Owen. He shoots and goal! Perfect start. Lucio, what a mistake.
I didn't sleep a wink the night before. For me, it was the worst game. On that play, I had no good reflexes at all. I looked at Owen running, then back at the ball. Next thing I know, he was already close. He took the chance, The ball bounced off my thigh back to him, and he scored.
Owen takes advantage of his mistake.
What comes to my mind is scoring a goal and thinking, this is just perfect. It was the dream start. It was exactly what I'd hoped for. And I was compromised in that game, and that's what I was trying to do. Stay close to the goal, get a chance and score.
I'd always tell everybody, relax. Everyone just relax. We have 80 minutes to go. Be calm.
Foul against Beckham. Brazil not convinced of the referee.
I remember there was one moment where we were winning 1-0 and the referee had stopped the play for some reason. And usually if you're losing 1-0, you look stressed, you look kind of worried. I looked over and I saw Roberto and Ronnie stood together in a penalty area. And they were laughing and they were joking, and I thought, this is not a good sign. This is really not a good sign.
Ronaldo looks for the goal, but the keeper goes for the save.
We felt we'd better start playing seriously.
Ronaldinho Gaucho gets the ball.
The match against England was a big game for me. All sorts of things happened there. I made an assist and we scored.
Great play by Ronaldinho. He spotted Rivaldo in the box, shoots with the left, and goal!
Ronaldinho made a spectacular play. A classic 3 versus 2, pushing the defender out.
Cross to Rivaldo. Rivaldo's classic shot was way out of the goalie's reach.
It was a killer for us. And it's the last kick of the first half. It really is a problem because it changes your mindset. No matter what words were said in the dressing room at half-time, the feeling of not winning after leading for so long was a very hard one to take.
Half-time whistle there. Brazil won, England won. That Brazil.
Second half starts, and immediately a foul on our right.
Cleverson fouled there.
We had a great goalkeeper, David Seaman, who was one of the best to ever put on an England shirt and play. And not even he could stop, a special goal like that from Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho shoots an incredible free kick right into the angle. None of us was really expecting it. We all thought he was crossing.
He's shooting, it's direct, and a magical goal by Ronaldinho! What an amazing goal by Ronaldinho!
Ronaldinho keeps saying that it was on purpose, that he meant to put it there at the angle.
When he scored that goal, there wasn't one moment where I thought he didn't mean that. I believe he meant that. And, it was surprising when it happened. And people always talked about, did he mean it? Did he mean to score the goal? Of course he did.
I remember, yes, it was Cafu and me for the free kick. It was a good shot. I had the luck and the joy on my side to put the ball there at the angle. It was wonderful.
But when Ronaldinho scored the second goal, and it felt like we had nothing.
I got sent off. It was a crucial game for me. A silly play. I was late and stepped on the guy's foot and got sent off. It was awful. I was doing a wonderful game. An assist, a goal, everything. All of a sudden, I'm off. That was the worst feeling ever.
It felt like even with 10 men, Brazil were comfortable keeping the ball. It felt like we couldn't do anything. It felt like we were being outclassed by Brazil.
It's over! A great win for England.
It was a very sad feeling. One thing is for sure, when the game finished, we didn't think, wow, we were unlucky. We felt like we were beaten by the better team on the day.
It was a tough moment for us. You were always disappointed, and obviously, David Seaman was quite upset, so we were there for him as teammates. But, there was no blame put on any one player. by us as a team, because you win as a team, you lose as a team. Did we have an opportunity as a team? Probably, but it just wasn't meant to be.
England was perhaps the vital game, and they won it well, and they deserved to win it in difficult circumstances after going behind.
They end up winning the game with 10 men. And don't forget, Ronaldinho was sent off.
That game was key. I started believing.
Something interesting I always remember, only very few journalists would come to our first trainings. But in the final games, they'd show up by thousands in the stadium. They noticed Brazil was getting more confident during competition. Time to change things.
Dá tempo de mudar de profissão, hein? Só não, como está?
They've got freedom when they play football. It looks like there is not any set rules. You've got to do this. It's enjoyment. It's playing with the ball, loving the ball. It feels like the Brazilians play football on the beach and hone their skills. So I think it's in their genes, in their DNA, to be good at football.
The Brazilian player steps on the field with not only his career in mind. He knows everybody's eyes are on him. He knows he has to bring joy to those at the stadium and to those watching at home.
I've always loved every Brazilian team. There's something about Brazilian people, Brazilian players that you want to be part of.
Turkey again! Another horrible game!
We have 5 minutes. You can warm up. Go ahead and start warming up. He needs to make sure that he's ready for the match. No slacking off. You understand? We knew the second game against Turkey would be harder than the first one. The Turkish would be armed to the teeth, and they'd certainly be livid with us. They really wanted to beat Brazil. They believed that their first game had been unfair, and they wanted to try to take back what they believed was rightfully theirs.
That semi-final had extra tension. The game against Turkey had been tense already.
I was injured on my thigh adductor, and I was doubtful whether I should play or not. Everybody there was talking about my leg injury. That's when I got my hair cut. 2 days before the semi-final, all of a sudden my hair was breaking the news, not my injury. I went training, saw my haircut's impact, so I kept it.
Ronaldo's haircut's ridiculous. Look at him eat.
I got many complaints from kids' mothers. The haircut was a craze in Brazil. It was a good way to distract everybody's attention, away from my injury during the semi-final.
The second time these sides have met in the campaign.
Brazil versus Turkey is about to kick off. Ronaldo has a knee problem, but he's playing anyway. Ronaldo, the Brazilian star, is on the field with the team.
We were quick. They were well positioned and managed to play around well.
After the first half, Brazil focused more on defense. More men started to block me. They closed all the spaces. We couldn't move anymore. It was a tough game.
So much at stake. It's a very, very tense game of football.
And then comes the monster on his famous day of inspiration.
Here comes Brazil. Ronaldo takes control. He gets into the box. It's the tip of his shoe and goal! Goal!
I scored that goal with the tip of my foot, as it is common to do in futsal. Only unpainful thing I could do when I kicked. It's like going on running, a quick move that diverts the keeper's attention and takes him completely by surprise.
Goal! Goal for Brazil! Ronaldo! Goal!
Big Phil had managed, one way or another, to get all his players to play during the matches except for the substitute goalies, yet not Giuliano Belletti until the semi-final. 1-0 against Turkey, and we had 10 minutes to go. I looked at my friends and said he's calling Belletti in.
Cleberson's down on the floor with a cramp.
When Cleberson gets cramped, the usual thing would have been to call in someone with his same position.
The last 5 minutes and Belletti's in, and I thought, what the hell? I really don't want you to set foot on the field again.
Belletti takes his position. Belletti has been switched in.
Turkey was pushing hard when I came in. It was much more a defensive game for us. A cross came in from the right, dangerous. I managed to head the ball out.
He clears the box with a header.
Belletti's header was out of bounds, and I thought, what the hell is he doing?
As I looked around, I saw all my Brazilian peers' relief. They were like, thanks man, you're on fire.
The referee blows the final whistle.
If we made it, it would have made us so proud. But one thing was clear. Allah wouldn't want that, right? We couldn't beat Brazil twice. He didn't want that. It was clear.
It's the end of the game. Brazil is off to the final.
I mean, the goal that he scores that wins the semi-final against Turkey, you see him in floods of tears. Now, that's not the Ronaldo that we usually see, but you saw there what it meant to him. The greatest football comeback story of all time. Ronaldo comes back. There's no need to panic. The president's arrived.
Brazil is in the World Cup final again. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the three-time World Cup champions.
Four-time champions.
Four-time champions.
If you make it to the final, in that moment, make no mistakes. There's a personal and a collective demand, a common goal, the World Championship. But on the other hand, Brazil's defeat in '98, just the thought of that hurt.
On the day of the final, my 1998 trauma. I didn't go to my room and do my ritual as usual. I changed my mind completely. I couldn't afford to suffer a seizure again.
Preparing for the final, on the eve and the day of the game. We joked around, we will not do 1998 again. It will be different.
All great players would have wanted so badly to turn the page after the World Cup of 1998. And I think it was their motivation that always helped us fuel ours.
I'd always hear Roberto Carlos say, "I won't cry anymore." For me, one of the youngest was a very important phrase. I took all that in, and I started thinking to myself, I have to do my very best to help these guys. They're really my ultimate heroes. We're all on the same boat. We all had the same goals and same ambitions. We all wanted to win the World Cup for the Brazilian people, and I'll give my life for the national team and for Brazil.
This is Brazil's greatest defeat in the history of the World Cups.
So I called Dida, Cafu, and the other guys to come and hang out, have a conversation, doing time not to fall asleep.
Can you go get him? What do you think?
Big Phil had something. He took lots of time to think. The day before the final against Germany, we were all thinking about the game. In the pre-game speech, he mentioned Germany a lot. No one was getting it, really. He said, I'll show you a video, and it's been 53 days away from home. And he played it. We looked at each other and thought something's gonna happen.
You're on the other side of the world, and the expectation at home is high. You're on the other side of the world. You feel the expectations at home, even the most humble people supporting Brazil.
Marcos!
Dida.
Rogerio.
Roca Jr.
I looked around and Junior Bautista was crying. All of us were homesick. Vampeta wiping his tears. I thought Phil's nuts.
Edmilson.
Anderson Polga.
Vampeta. Ronaldo!
I personally was fighting many battles. First, the psychological battle of 1998. Second, the physical one, my knee. And the most powerful for all of us, the most impactful, for me, seeing the Brazilian people all united around the national team, sending us their full support and energy on that day to keep going.
Our coach managed to transmit that joy and motivation. So of course it was also a great responsibility ultimately to make our fans happier.
Five-time champion!
Then, it was over. We all clapped and to the game.
Fifth Brazil, come Germany! Brazil, Germany, we're getting close!
Can we speak a few seconds with Scolari and maybe... One of the problems of this final was the Japanese emperor was going to attend a match. And the protocol says when he moves from his palace, the traffic stops. We were told at that time the traffic would have been blocked and you don't know until when. So we get the stadium, my team, and also the two teams very much in advance than normal. And we had to spend time there. So for us it was normal to start chatting simply to spend some of the unexpected time we had to get there.
It's 7:40 a.m. in Brazil, and it's 7:40 p.m. here in Yokohama, Japan. Brazil's heading to its fifth. Finals about to kick off.
Up until 2002, photo was of the 11 first-team players. Substitutes, names added in the caption, watching Brazil come in to get their official photo taken. If things goes well, those 11 players are making history without me being there. Then I went. Let's go to the photo. Let us all take the photo together. All players on bench followed me, all on photo.
Ronaldo, World Cup top scorer, versus Oliver Kahn, top keeper. The hell of a game. Thrills guaranteed. The World Cup's between Brazil's and Germany's hands.
This was really a great moment for me. I said to the team, yeah, they are the favorite team. But you know, in a final, everything is possible. Now we're believing in our strength.
Oliver Kahn was chosen best player of the World Cup at the time before the final, a mistake they'd make those days, in my opinion. His campaign was very spectacular, really.
Kleberson gets the ball, he shoots, and Kahn catches it.
You know, I'm like in a tunnel and I'm only focused on the game.
I look at the goal and only see my worst enemy. I have to beat him, always.
Ronaldinho there with a pass to Ronaldo. Ronaldo bearing down on goal. Kahn has come out. Oliver Kahn, even in the heat of battle, a lovely touch there, Ronaldo.
I try to score. He blocks me. I help him up. We keep going. I admired Oliver Kahn and respected him a lot.
I can't remember ever playing better than at this time. Also during the whole World Cup, you know, until this final.
Ronaldo leaks the ball, loses it, goes after it again. Rivaldo insisting for Brazil, gets it. He takes control, and he shoots!
By chance, finally, he makes one mistake.
He gets it, takes control, and shoots! Kahn fails, Ronaldo goes for it!
There was this bounce, and I was at the right place.
Rivaldo insisting for Brazil. Kahn fails, Ronaldo's here, shoots, and goal! Goal for Brazil! Ronaldo! Goal! Goal by Ronaldo! Amazing Ronaldo!
A striker lives off bounces.
In this evening, he had a lot of luck. Because there was this one ball I couldn't catch, and he was in the right moment, he was standing, you know, on the right area. But that is what a striker has to do.
Those are football things.
Here comes Captain Cafu.
It was my third World Final. Honestly, I really felt so good in the finals, and I was so calm. Many people don't believe me when I say it.
Here comes Brazil. Kleberson on the right. He carries down the field quickly, controls the ball, crosses. Rivaldo spreads his legs. Ronaldo controls, shoots, and goal!
My second goal was world class. A very fast play on the right, very accurate. With perfect control, a perfect touch.
Seals Brazil.
It was a good shot, and I think I had no chance.
Rivaldo spreads his leg. Ronaldo controls, shoots, and goal! Goal for Brazil! Ronaldo! Amazing goal by Ronaldo! Ronaldo!
The referee blows the final whistle.
Final whistle that came a little bit later than scheduled because I want to be sure that the ball was in my hands, because my target was to bring the ball back home with me.
And it's the end in Yokohama. Brazil is 5-time world champion. Oliver Kahn's weeping. Brazil raises its 5th cup. Brazil 2 with 2 goals by Ronaldo and Germany 0. The entire country of Brazil is celebrating.
At the first moment, I just felt so happy. It didn't really hit me yet, the greatness of our accomplishment.
It was a magical moment in our lives.
Champions! Big Phil and the players entered the field holding the large Brazilian flag. We were all hugging on the field. I'll never forget that image.
And so Brazil ruled the roost. Yokohama.
That feeling, raising the cup and thinking, we're world champions. I wish everyone could feel it. There are no words. I was representing my country, my father, my family, you guys.
Later, I remember everything I had to get over. My childhood, how I dream about that cup, supporting our national team, all that, all together, no doubt. One of the strongest things I've ever felt. For sure, the biggest game in my life. This photo is immortalized in history.
That's when we all realized God was among us too. We all kneeled down hand in hand with utmost gratitude for this great moment.
Victory is a very pleasant feeling.
My dad would always encourage me. As a kid, I lost him very young. When we win the World Cup in 1998, he's the one I remember and think, if only he was here with me. But I'm sure he saw it wherever he is.
Congratulations, you're there, thinking, laughing, dancing, celebrating. You know that your victory make your father, mother, all Brazilian people, everybody happy.
A long trip, but I couldn't sleep at all.
Speech.
Hey guys, we received a fax.
From FIFA!
We received a fax from Germany.
A 12.000 metros é exclusivo.
When we got back to Brazil, I was in the cabin. We saw 2 fighter planes. Actually, there were 4.
Que isso, cara?
Both sides of the national team's plane. Amazing.
One got in touch with our plane. The pilot played it for us on the speaker. So proud to be Brazilian. What a hype.
Welcome home, team, and welcome home 5th-time world champions. We're going to escort you to the landing zone. We're very proud of what you've done and accomplished for our country.
There are no words. It's surreal.
After 51 days away from home, our national team comes back home to celebrate their triumph in their people's embrace.
It's a unique feeling landing in your country. All of Brazil stopped and welcomed our plane.
Finally, there it is. The cup raised once more by our heroes who start coming down.
Arriving and going past all of those people moved to tears of joy. All cities and all states.
You realize after this, you gave something beyond measure and classification.
In Brazil, 500,000 people fill the streets to welcome our national team. Our team is getting their medals at the Três Poderes Square. A whole nation joins in celebrating our 5th World Championship.
The president, the whole ceremony, the streets stopped to receive us. It was great.
Fernando Henrique calls us to give us our honor and merit medals. One by one, when I got my turn, I somersaulted down the stage.
Vampeta went even farther, with somersaults down the ramp, until he fell over exhausted, but came back still celebrating.
The importance, the dimension of a World Cup, I had only grasped it years after our quest.
Unity. A whole country being happy because of the same thing. We never get that in Brazil. Only football can do this.
The people's beliefs, they earn confidence. If there's something they are sure of, football-wise, Brazil is the first.
As a fan, I've always believed in Brazilian football. Back in my day, unfortunately, we had no female icons to look up to. All my idols were male footballers. They inspired us to play and keep dreaming and get as far as they had got.
It was a great team. And even when there was a lot of pressure, when the team's happy and united, everything can and will go for the best of the team.
As a captain, I'm very proud to have been part of such an important team.
Football has given me a lot. Money, fame, recognition, but also something I will always keep: my friends.
I get on with all of them, even today. Some more, some less. We're always in touch. We have this 5th group chat. Roberto Carlos is the funniest one. He's always joking. And don't get me started on Cafu. I open my phone every day and I receive the same regular text I do from him.
I always admired these players because of their quality.
I mean, Brazil have just had so many good players, and I think that team in the 2002 World Cup was one of the great teams.
If you look at the players who were fielded that day in Yokohama, you really can find the biggest players I've ever seen.
It was exceptional that year, and history shows that they played football in a different way.
Of all time? Honestly, that's one tough question to answer. We need to think of the greats, like Pele, Garrincha, Tostão.
For me, the team of '82 was the best, and such a pity they didn't win.
The '94 team. But the team of '70 was something else. It was special.
For me, the 2002 national team was the best of all time.